Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we're taking a look at the Figureize Labo Fumina Hoshino kit. So this is the first in Bandai's Figureize Labo line. I'm not sure if they're going to be doing any more after at the point of recording this. I haven't seen any news about them doing any more after this. This is a very interesting thing here. This is a layered injection, a new thing they're promoting there, and so it's like a figure like you would get, like you normally buy like a 1/7, 1/6 or something, 1/8 like figure of like an anime character or something, but this is like a model kit. You actually build the figure yourself, so it's interesting. And one thing I just want to talk about first is that it's been pretty limited in its release, and I was wondering about that because Bandai, when they put out model kits, they're usually like not that hard to get, especially something new, but this one I know has been a little bit hard to get. It's been sold out or like discontinued on most stores like already. It just been out like last month, and even when it first came out, it was really hard to get just right at first because I guess what Bandai's thing was that they wanted to release it more along the lines of like how they usually release figures rather than how they release model kits, where they're just pretty limited and you kind of have to like pre-order it, and if you don't, then you're probably going to have a harder time finding one. So yeah, if they do make any more of these in the future, definitely pre-order it if you can, just to make sure that you can get one if you want. So this is Fumina. There's been a lot of mixed reaction to this I've seen online leading up to the release of this, so I'm sure this video is sure to get plenty of downvotes. But I think that it's pretty interesting. Just as a model kit goes, like it's very interesting, and like the technology that Bandai's used with this is yeah, it's interesting. So I'm anxious to take a look at this. So as always, thank you to USA Gundam Store for making this review possible. Hopefully this should be an enlightening experience for all of us. So here's just the front box art here. Let's take a look around the size of the box here. Just kind of got a larger shot of Fumina there. The Labo kind of logo there at the bottom. On the other side, just a kind of closer up shot of the face. And even here you can see like the different colors injected there. And for the eyes, it's even got like some clear blue in there for the eyes, the white, black, and all of that's in that multi-injection into those parts. So going to be very, very nice quality. Up on the top, another image there just of her face. On the bottom, just a different image there. So it's all just different imagery of the same thing. On the back is where we get into a little bit more interesting stuff here. At the top it says, "The birth of Figureize Labo, more than a simple figure or plastic model kit that can be assembled and evolves with you." So yeah, it's basically like everything that you love about building a kit and just having a figure on the shelf, you can have both in this. So this is, it says, great attention paid to the skin. So what they've got here is like for all the skin tone parts, it's actually two colors injected in there. There's the skin tone color and then this undertone of pink. And to where they want the pink tone, it's sort of like pre-shading for you. They just make the skin tone like thinner, and then the pink under that will show through more to give you like more different shading in some areas. So that's pretty awesome. So even if you don't paint or you don't want to pay like a super premium price like for a high-end figure, you can get a really good results just with this, and you get to build it yourself, which is always fun. I always would just prefer to build something than to just have it. But yeah, for a lot of times different figures and stuff like this, obviously, unless you're buying resin kits, you just build it and put it, or you just buy it and put it up on the shelf, and that's it. One thing let's talk about here too is that the price. This is not cheap though. It's 5,500 yen for this, but I think that's still like compared to just buying just a straight up figure, they're usually more expensive than that. I'm actually not sure the scale of this. I would assume it's going to be probably around like 1/6 scale, just based on the size of the box, but I'm not sure. Actually, there's a little bit there about just the character, Fumina Hoshino. And yeah, let's just go ahead and pop it open, shall we? Let's get into this thing. I'm really anxious to see what this is going to look like in here. I'm sure it's going to look just like normal, just a box of runners. But I can tell one thing about the box too is that it feels much more sturdy. It's got an inner box inside of here. So you're just going to pull out this tray box here like that. And yeah, just first reaction, it looks like probably around 1/6 scale. So we've got like just the different parts here. So you've got like this whole leg here, a whole leg, and stomach section there. So I think this is going to go together pretty quick. It's going to be relatively few parts for this, and then like there's like the base water parts. So let's get a look at these runners individually here in a minute. But let's just look at the manual here first. So basically on the front of the manual, it's just kind of talking about the same kind of stuff that we saw on the outside of the box there. We do have a parts list there at the bottom. As you can see, it's got runners A through F. And let's go around here to the back. That is part of the construction. So let's see. Okay, this is interesting. The instructions are laid out in a long style kind of almost poster kind of thing there. So that's like going through the first few steps there. At the bottom we do also have our color guide there. And then around to the back, it is still in color, but it's not in full color. It's just all kind of like sepia tone. And that's just going through the rest of the construction there till the end. And there you go. That's it. So let's get a look at the runners. Okay, so let's jump right into it here with runner A, which is just the leg here. And this just looks so cool. I mean, just the way that this looks with the two colors going into there. And it's actually, the secondary color is not really pink. It's like this really bright, like fluorescent orangish kind of color, pinkish orange. So yeah, you can definitely see like the color tone there on the leg. I'm sure that maybe is not coming through super well on camera, but yeah, you can see that, and it looks pretty nice overall. I mean, it's just one part on this runner, and the runner marking for this, just in case anyone is wondering, there is Figurei's Labo Hoshino Fumina, as you might imagine. And then runner B is the stomach section, and the other leg here. And then runner C is the face. So this one has 4 colors going into it. So it's got the skin tone, the undertone, the black for around the eyes, and the brown for the eyebrows. So all of that going into this one part here for the face. Pretty cool. Runner D here, we've got a few parts. There's just the little cat head part there for her swimsuit, this little part for like the zipper down the front of the swimsuit, and this part for her face, obviously the eyes, and then there's part there for the teeth as well, so just white. And yeah, just all the colors going into the eyes there, the white and the clear blue and the black, and just all looks really good. Those eyes look super nice. Runner E, probably the most normal looking runner if you guys have built any of just the Figurei's bust line. So this one we've just got in 4 colors. We've got some pink there at the bottom for a couple pieces, the scrunchie for the hair and inside the mouth, some brown kind of tan color there obviously for all the hair, and then the black up there at the top for parts of the swimsuit, that's in a really super high gloss black, and then this yellow over here for the swimsuit is also in really high gloss. So you've got that different tone of the plastic there, just the like semi-matte and the high gloss. It's going to look really nice. Runner F1 here is the parts for the arms, as well as what looks to be probably for the neck there as well. And what you'll notice too is that these parts don't have that double injection, so the arms won't have that same like shading that they've got integrated in with the body and the legs. So I think you can kind of tell that if you just compare the color tones there. So that's kind of disappointing that they didn't go ahead and do that for in the arms as well. They have that for the stomach section, the legs, and the face even, but not for the arms. So that hopefully is not too noticeable in the finished kit. And then last here is runner F2 for the clear blue parts for the base, just kind of the main base part, and then like water splash effect for that. So there we go. So that's it for all of the parts. One thing that I'll mention too about these double injected parts here is that they feel quite hefty. Like they're definitely very thick. They're not hollow on the inside. It's just like solid plastic. So they feel pretty good there. Now I'm going to get this built up, and then we'll take a look at how this is going to look when it's all put together.
A few moments later.
All right, and here is the final result. I gotta say, this kit was very interesting, really fun to put together. I think it looks pretty good. If you guys didn't watch, I did live stream the build of this on Twitch. You can watch it there on Twitch. I think I'll probably pull that off Twitch and upload that onto YouTube here shortly after the review. So if you want to wait and watch it on YouTube, you can watch that on here soon enough. But it was a really fun kit to build, just very interesting, and I think Bandai, I really, to be honest, I really hope they do some more of these. It's expensive, it's kind of limited, a little bit hard to get if you didn't pre-order it. I'm not sure if or when they're going to be doing another run of these. I'm sure they will, but definitely worth it if you think that this looks cool to you. It's a pretty big size. I think it's definitely safe to say it's probably about 1/6 scale. So if you guys are into like figures or anything, you're collecting those or just anything, if you know about scales of figures, I guess it's about 1/6 scale, I think is probably a fair assessment. And one thing too here, I just wanted to give you a little size comparison to see how this compares to a 1/44 and 1/100 scale Gundam. As you can see, it's pretty tall, so if you wanted to kind of pair this up with a Gundam for a display or something like that, it's definitely going to be pretty large on the shelf. The layered injection in on the stomach section, the face, and the legs is apparent. I don't know, I think the color of it is a little bit off because the undertone is like that really bright fluorescent orange color. I think that makes it almost looks like she's like sunburnt or something. I think they should have gone with like a dark red or something like that. I think it would have worked better as giving like a kind of tan, like they want it to be basically a way of pre-shading the kit for you within the plastic, and I think a darker color would have been better instead of the fluorescent orange. So I think the color of that is a little bit odd, but it does show through. It is apparent, and it is very interesting. It's also just kind of shit that they didn't do that for the arms as well. Like if they're gonna introduce that as this new big thing, and it's a really interesting new developing technique of that. So it's just a shame that they didn't do that in the arms as well. If you look at the kit up close, you can see the difference in the colors, that the arms don't have that layered injection in them. But I think if you look at it from any distance, you really aren't going to notice that. So it's really not too bad. It's not something I would really complain too much about. But it does just kind of seem strange that they would not do that for their arms. I don't know if maybe because of the fingers or something being pretty small parts that it kind of got a little bit dicey to do that. I don't really think that that would be particularly an issue though. The only areas that are really going to have any concerns about like seam lines or anything is the hair and the fingers. The outstretched hand with like the finger pointing, the three fingers that are folded are a separate part, so you will have like a seam line kind of across the front knuckles of that hand, which is kind of weird. I don't really know why they do that. And then of course you'll have some seam lines in the hair. I think the way that they handled the seam lines in the hair is pretty good. They're in like areas where it looks like kind of natural, just like parting of the hair for the most part. So it's really not too bad. And otherwise, it's just nice that you don't have to worry about seam lines anywhere else on the legs or somewhere where it would be kind of more of a hassle, where it's like on the curved parts of the body. The seam lines on the parts for the actual swimsuit are all pretty fine too. They're not really too bad. I really wouldn't worry too much about removing those for me personally. That said, the nub placement on these is a little bit tricky. You do have to really take your time and go at some of the nubs slowly, especially on like the skin tone parts. Just if you aren't going to be painting the kit, just really go slowly. You know, however, whatever your method is, I would definitely not recommend using a file. What I did is just use a hobby knife just to kind of slice those down a little bit after cutting it from the runner and leaving a bit on there. And then once I got it pretty close, then I just went at it with either like a spongy sanding stick, a soft sanding stick, or sandpaper, just to get those smooth. Especially like on the legs, some of the gates were really big, and I'll have to maybe even go in and do some putting on those to fix where I maybe sanded a little bit too much or something. The other thing is that the legs have a couple of gates where it's the gate of the fluorescent pink or fluorescent orange color bleeding into there. So you'll see like a nub mark or a mark on the leg that's in that really bright fluorescent orange color, which obviously is going to look a bit strange, but they've really ingeniously placed those on areas where they're pretty hidden. So like they placed it on the inside of the leg where the legs cross over each other there in the bottom part. Is where those gates are, so you can kind of see them if you look at it from just the right angle from the back, but other than that you aren't really going to see those gates. So that was pretty good choice on their part, because they kind of had to do that, I guess, and so might as well put it somewhere where they aren't going to show. So that's pretty cool. Overall, I think the kit does look really, really nice. The face especially too. The face looks really good. The multiple colors injected into the eyes, the clear blue especially within the eyes, looks really good. And you have the white part there from the eyes, also gives you a little bit of white there for the teeth in that part, and so it all just looks really nice. Overall, really cool kit. If you guys are just wanting to try something new and interesting, I think this is definitely something worth checking out. So what do you guys think about this? I know there's a lot of mixed opinions out there. Has this review changed your mind in any way, one way or the other? What possible characters would you guys like to maybe see in the line in the future? Maybe a Figureize Labo Gyanko would be pretty awesome. I would love that. I kind of doubt it, but that would be amazing. Otherwise, I think they could go back and do like some retro characters like Salamass or Lala. I think would be pretty cool as well. Any of those from like the original series. But I know there's a lot of options, and who knows if they're even going to stick to girls. I mean, Bandai knows where its bread is buttered, but I think if they wanted, they could obviously do some other characters like a Char or Amuro or something would probably sell pretty well as well. So that's it for the review, guys. Hopefully this has been interesting, helpful for any of you guys who are seeing a little bit more about this. I think it's a pretty cool figure if you can just stomach the little bit hefty price tag for it. Thank you once again to USA Gundam Store for sponsoring this review, guys. Do check out the link to their site down below and shop with them. Save 10% using my coupon code there, ZakuAurelius10. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave any other further questions and comments you have down below, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hey! Thanks for watching, guys. Remember, if you want to check the kit out for yourself, you can head over to USA Gundam Store. Use that coupon code ZakuAurelius10. Save yourself 10%. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Bye-bye.